Welcome back to the Shaman Warrior Network. I'm your host, Shaman Jona, and today we're going to be talking about forgiveness. Forgiveness is so important. They talk about it in almost every religious book. Forgiveness is much more than just a religious thing or a moral thing or even a spiritual thing. It's everything. And that's why you should know about forgiveness too, and you should be applying it in your life. Check it out.
It's the Shaman Warrior Network. Ignite the inner flame, catalyst of the change, planting thoughts in your brain. Lift you up off this plane, breathe easy, connect with the cheese.
Before we get deep into the topic of forgiveness, I want to make sure that we all first understand what forgiveness is. Forgiveness is when you stop being angry or resentful at something or someone for a mistake or a flaw or an offense that they did. And when you stop being angry, when you stop being resentful, that's when you finally are forgiving. And when you think about it, having anger or having resentment towards someone or something is not doing anything to them. It's only doing something to you. It's affecting your energy. It's affecting your aura. It's affecting how you feel. Because when you're resentful towards someone and that person comes into the room, you can't be happy. You can't be yourself anymore because you're so angry. You're so resentful. You start turning into a toxic monster. And the goal of this video is to make sure that you never enter that toxic monster phase again. Because listen, we've all gone through it. We're all human. We all have these feelings and resentments, but it's all up to us to forgive so that we can move on, so that we can be strong. Because it doesn't serve you to be angry. It doesn't serve you to be resentful of anyone, because when you break down the reasons of your resentment, you break down the reasons of your anger, you're just holding on to a moment without regarding the truth that we're impermanent. So if you're angry at somebody for something that they did in the past, just know that over time they're going to change. Over time, the way you feel about the moment is going to change. Over time, your memories of the moment will change. Everything is always changing. So why is it that when you go back to think about this person or this thing, do you have to feel angry every time? Do you have to feel sad every time? To forgive is to detach. Detach from those feelings of anger that consistently come up when you think about that person or thing. And when you let go and you detach, that's love. That's loving forgiveness, because you are now releasing yourself from the weight of resentment, from the weight of anger, and you're allowing yourself to fly high and connect with your highest good. Forgiveness is so important because if there's people in your life that you are unable to forgive, then I guarantee there's also things that you've done that you're unable to forgive yourself for. And that's not a good weight to wear on your shoulders. Anger and resentment are suffering techniques that your ego deploys so that it can feel, because your ego loves to feel. And as they say in Zen Buddhism, our egos are masters at suffering. So don't let that suffering master win when you can change it all by detaching, by forgiving. And the way that you forgive is something that my dad taught me when I was young, called control folly. And it's about having a controlled folly. Your folly is your weakness, so you control your weakness, right? If someone made you feel insecure, if you hold resentment towards them and show them that you're angry at them for this insecurity that they pointed out, you're giving them this power. You're not controlling your weakness. Controlled folly. It's also something that can be expressed or interpreted through the fact that we are as important as everything else in this world, and everything else in this world is not important. If you can understand that, that will also help you forgive and reach that detachment, because most times we're angry or we're resentful because of our egos, because We feel we should have been treated better. We feel like the other person should have recognized us. Or maybe the other person has something that we wish we had in ourselves. It's all egoic. So if you find that forgiveness and you find that similarity between you and the other person, because every time you're angry, every resentment you hold is actually anger and resentment towards yourself. So look at that reflection, that person, that thing, that time in your past, and apply that forgiveness. Detach from holding on to how you felt and holding on to the anger and holding on to the pain, and let your higher self give your inner child a hug of unconditional love. That is forgiveness. And when you do forgive, at all times, you will be the best version of yourself. I guarantee it. And that's what we all want to be, right? The best versions of ourselves, expressing as much unconditional love as we can to ourselves and to the world. You do that through forgiveness. And I hope that this video has helped you realize that maybe you do have resentments, and maybe there are people or things that you're angry about that are holding you back, that dictate the way that you act, and you realize it's time to let go. I love you so much. Thank you for being a part of the Shaman Warrior Network. I promise you, when you go through this inner self-healing, when you do the self-work and you apply that forgiveness and you detach from the things that are holding you back, you'll feel that weight lift off your shoulders and you'll feel so much better. Your vibrations will be so much higher. You'll be able to take in so much more. The universe will gift you with so much more, because resentment fills that void within you, and it tells the universe that you have enough. And what you have enough of is pain, anger, sorrow, and suffering. When you let go of all that, the universe will replenish you with love, opportunity, light, everything that you desire. I love you. I love you. Thank you again for watching the Shaman Warrior Network. Listen, come every Wednesday and enjoy a new video. If you like this video, hit like, hit subscribe, and share it to a friend that should know a little bit more about forgiveness. Maybe it's somebody who's having a rough time forgiving their mother, a rough time forgiving their brother, a rough time forgiving their best friend, a rough time forgiving themselves. Send this video out there, because you know it can help. Have a beautiful day.
We are eternal. We are eternal. We are eternal. Better write it in a journal. You're infinitely gifted when you're resonant, not dissonant. The energies are lifting with the melodies.